the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, the total is more than the sum of its parts. Find out why after my intro. Hi guys, this is Zilla. I'm back again with another video. And today it's a video talking about the S9 Plus. Is it a worthy upgrade to the S8 Plus? What's different? What's changed? And I'm also going to be addressing a lot of people out there who are hating on the device. And because I've got a few things that I need to talk about with regards to that, and comments I've been receiving on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And I wanted to level the playing field, as it were. So let's start off with what's the sort of comments I've been hearing. Since the Unpacked event took place, which I attended, you guys know about that, I've been seeing comments like, I'm not impressed. Now there's a certain YouTuber who says, I'm not impressed. And all he does is he scrolls on Samsung's website while talking about the device. There's other YouTubers who said, don't buy the device, way before the Unpacked event even happened. Now, my question to these guys is, how can you comment like that? How can you say that about a product you don't even have? In fact, a product no one had at the time. You know, you as a consumer watching this video now, do you take that on board as a purchase decision for you? It's like me, I don't own a Ferrari, so I could easily sit here and say, oh, Ferrari's rubbish, it's too expensive, it's not fast enough, or whatever. What do I know? I don't have a Ferrari. So to me, stop it. If you haven't got the device, you haven't had any hands-on time with the device, have an opinion, but don't straight out tell people don't buy it or make blanket statements about a product. Okay, that's first thing. Second thing, now consumers, or people on social media. Now on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and all these sort of things, I've heard comments, people sending comments to me, oh, all Samsung have done is added an extra camera and an extra speaker. That's nothing, is incremental. Well, I'm going to use a saying here, and it's a saying that I've heard a lot in my life. The total is more than the sum of its parts. Remember that, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. The problem is a lot of people are looking with blinkers on like a horse at what they're seeing about the S9 Plus. You're going to wonder, what's he talking about? Well, a lot of the improvements and changes that happen inside the device, things you can't physically see. So I'm going to address, it's not going to be a really detailed video, I'm just going to address the changes and so on. And I'm going to stay to the end of this video. I'm going to ask everyone a question, and I all want you to comment down below in the comment section of this video. It's important, so stay to the end. Now, let's talk about the build quality and the aesthetics and so on. Yes, it does look fairly similar to the S8 Plus, but in my opinion, is that a bad thing? No, because last year the S8 Plus was one of my most favorite designed handsets on the market. It still looks beautiful to this day. What did you want Samsung to do? Put gun turrets on the damn thing? Me, I think it looks beautiful. Why change a formula that's working? It doesn't make sense. Screen size is the same. For me, 6.2 inch 18:9 is a beautiful sized display. Why play around with something you don't need to? Talking about the display. Now, DisplayMate, I think they're called DisplayMate. They're renowned for testing screens on various different products. They test TV screens, I believe. But let's talk about mobile devices, mobile phones specifically. They came out, and I believe this is the first time they've ever given any mobile phone screen an all green category tick box. Now, they're professionals, they know what they're doing when they're testing these screens. The S9 Plus has taken the title from the iPhone X. Is that surprising the iPhone X had the title? No, because Samsung made that screen for Apple. Apple did have some input into it, but now Samsung have taken the title. That's a positive to me. The screen's also 20% brighter. the screen, the glass all around the phone is also thicker than the S8 Plus, and we'll get to that in a minute, and I'll go into that in more detail. So there's an improvement right there. Brightness has gone up, quality of the display has gone up, and DisplayMate, they have confirmed that in their tests. I think they did, I'm pretty sure they said they rated it as #1 mobile phone screen out at the moment. That's a win-win. That is a improvement in my eyes. What do you want them to do with the screen? It's the best screen on the market, hands down. That's it, done. Now some of you are going to go, well, it's not 4K like the Sony screens. Just because the screen is 4K doesn't make it the best screen on the market. People get too caught up with numbers sometimes. It doesn't mean anything. Just because it says it's 4K, it doesn't mean it's a good screen. I'll give you an example. Ask a OnePlus 5T owner, are they upset that their OnePlus 5T has a 1080p screen, and they're going to say no. Ask an iPhone 8 Plus user or an iPhone 10 user, are they upset their screen's not a 4K resolution screen or even a 2K resolution screen? And what are they going to say? No, the screen looks fabulous. So what does that tell you? Okay, so the screen has improved. The actual build quality has improved. Now you can't see it physically, but the phone, the S9 Plus, is 0.5 of a millimeter thicker than the S8 Plus from last year. Why is it thicker? The glass is thicker all around the device, as is the metal trim that runs along the outer edge of the device. Why has Samsung done this? Because it reduces shock going into the device and into the screen by 20% in an accidental drop. So it's made the phone more durable. That's an improvement. In my eyes, it's an improvement all day long. Does it make it break-proof? Of course not. No phone is infallible to breakages, but it is an improvement nonetheless. So overall, the build quality has improved, another improvement. Now let's talk about speakers. Samsung have usually always ever put in a single bottom firing speaker, and people complained about it. I was one of them, saying for flagship devices it should have dual speakers. They've put in dual speakers now, not just any old dual speakers. The AKG, let me get my teeth in, AKG tuned speakers. And they've also got Dolby Atmos built into them. How effective that is debatable. But the fact is they've added an extra speaker to the S9 Plus. That to me is a massive, massive improvement. You can say, oh, it's only an extra speaker, but it's a big improvement. Think about it logically. And it's, I don't think the exact figure, but it's quite a bit louder than last year's S8 Plus. Sorry guys, dry throat. So there's another improvement right there. Now let's move on to the internals. Battery's the same size, but it needs to be because of the form factor. I'm happy with a 3,500 milliamp hour battery myself personally. My S8 Plus last year gave me great performance on that battery. So what's changed internally? Well, now Samsung have using the either Snapdragon 845 or the Exynos 9810 chipset, depending on which region you're in. So the latest and greatest chipsets. I believe it's the first device that's come out with these newest chipsets, which are more efficient and better performing. So that's a big improvement there. They've also increased the storage options. So in certain regions, you can get a 64 gig storage option, 128 gig storage option, and a 256 gigabyte storage option. Now I know some of you, like in the States at the moment, you've only got the 64 gigabyte option, but in the UK, you can pick 64 gig or 128 gig. So I've gone for the 128 gig, which is double last year's storage, which is a big deal for me. Now you can also use a 400 gigabyte SD card. The S9 Plus is compatible with an SD card of that size. That takes it up to 0.5 terabyte in storage. That's a massive improvement. Again, big improvement. Is that a small increment? No, it's a big change in my opinion. They've also now gone from 4 gigabytes of RAM to 6 gigabytes of RAM. Why is that a big deal? I will leave a link at the end of this video showing you why the S8 Plus performs better with 6 gigabytes. Watch it. 6 gigabytes versus 4 gigabytes in the same device. You will see why it makes a big difference. So to go up by 2 gigs is a big improvement. Look at things like the Pixel XL. They're still on 4 gigs. Do they need 6 gigs? Nope, not really, because they don't have many features. So that to me is a big improvement again. Now let's move on from the internals. As I said, I don't want to get too bogged down with detail. And let's talk about the cameras. Now Samsung have added a second lens on the back. What does that mean? That means it's a huge improvement in performance. They've also included a dual aperture, f1.5 and f2.4. I'll do a separate video as to the pros and cons of that, so I don't want to get into that right now. But to add an extra camera on the back, again, that's a big improvement. And dual aperture, first mobile handset to come with dual aperture, mechanical dual aperture camera on the back of it. And the people are saying that's not a big deal. You must be nuts. That's a massively big deal. Massively big deal. But if you want to see how good the video quality is, check out Danny Wingett's video he did at 4K 60 frames per second. He didn't do any color grading on it. He didn't edit any of it in terms of changing the actual video footage itself. So if you haven't seen that video, I seriously suggest you check it out on YouTube. It shows you how good the cameras are in the S9 Plus. Fantastic. Really, really fantastic. Samsung have also added a third color, lilac purple, which I really love. Is that a huge change? No. But they've listened to their consumers from last year. Straight out the gate, we have 3 color options here in the UK and in the States. Midnight black, lilac purple, coral blue. That's a win-win all day for me. So these are some of the changes that Samsung have made to the S9 Plus. Is that a small list of changes to you? Do you think they're small things? No, they're big changes. 6 gigs of RAM, double the storage, or some regions 256 gig. You can take a bigger memory card now. You got an extra speaker, an extra camera, a dual aperture. You know, why is that a problem for people? You know, do your research before you get too bogged down with listening to the haters out there. Now, it's also, the cameras got tested and it was found to be the best overall mobile phone camera. Overall best camera. Now, no one's saying the S9 Plus has the best performance in every category when it comes to the camera. But one thing I noticed is a lot of the Pixel owners, the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL owners, they start bombarding Twitter and Google Plus and Facebook, going on about, I tested the S9 Plus in the store, and there's no way it's better than my Pixel. The phone is tethered to the table. Do you think taking a selfie is the only thing that distinguishes between which camera is better? That's nuts. Take the camera outside, take the phone out, check it outside. Stop crying and stop trying to gratify your purchase and defend it. No one is saying to you that your camera's rubbish. I've heard stupid comments like, oh, DxO Mark got bribed. They got bribed. That's why they're given the best camera to the S9 Plus. The same people saying that weren't complaining about DxO's Mark when they rated the Pixel cameras as the best ever. Think about it. If you're going to live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. So either you trust them fully or you don't trust them fully. You can't pick and choose, guys. Let's be honest. There's a lot of backside hurting going on here for whatever reason, and I don't know. I don't get why. I don't get why. This is just my take on what I'm feeling right now. I have handled the device for a good few hours, both the S9 and the S9 Plus, and to me they're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. They tick all the boxes for me, and that's me. The actual metal bezel around the phone, that's now more of a satin sort of matte finish, so it's easy to hold the device. As the device is a little bit thicker because they've made it overall stronger. The cameras are flush on the back. That's another thing. They've moved the fingerprint sensor where everyone complained about round to the bottom, so it's more accessible. Now, people saying, it's not worth the upgrade. Well, when the S8 Plus came out and everyone's moaning, I hate the fingerprint sensor. Remember, that's all we ever heard. Fingerprint sensor, fingerprint sensor. Shut up. Samsung have corrected it. They've listened to the complaints and it's still not good enough. Some people are saying, they haven't put the fingerprint sensor under the screen in the display. If the technology isn't ready, I'd rather they didn't try and force a feature into the device that's not ready, because you're just going to have bugs in it. It's not going to work properly. And once it's embedded under the screen, all it becomes is a fingerprint sensor, from what I've read. It doesn't have any other function. So just chill on this sort of thing. I'm giving you facts, I'm giving you my impressions, and I'm giving you my honest feedback from what I've done with the device, what I felt with the device, how I use the device. Sorry guys, the car's outside. There's an AR emoji. Now, it's a little bit of fun. Is this something I'm particularly interested in? No, I'm gonna be honest. It's not something me as a grown man is like, wow, it's a must-have feature. But it is nice to have it if you're into that sort of thing. All small improvements. There were also mentioned that not only is there a heart rate sensor in the phone, something about a blood pressure sensor. I didn't really get into that too much because I'm not sure about it, but there was a mention of it. So there's another improvement there. You see where I'm going with this? So all these little improvements everyone keeps talking about, and some of them in my opinion are big improvements, they add up to an overall much better device, much better experience. The fact they didn't remove the headphone jack is a positive to me. The fact they didn't remove IP68, water and dust resistance, is something I'm happy about. I think people get caught up with, this hasn't changed, that hasn't changed. Ask anyone who has, a lot of people has an iPhone 10. A lot of people returned them and went back to an iPhone 8 Plus. Why? Because changes don't always equal better product, better experience, or better value for money. And talk about value for money. The 64 gig version in the UK is cheaper than last year's S8 Plus with 64 gigs of storage. They've reduced the price. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And in the States, I believe it's the same thing. It's actually cheaper from certain places. How can you go wrong when they're giving you so much more for less? And they didn't go to the £1,000 mark like a lot of people were going on about. They've kept it well under that. So for me, if you ask me, if you want to get an S9 Plus, go to a store, play around with one, buy it. You have a return period. If you don't like it, take it back. Don't listen to me necessarily. Don't listen to anyone else telling you blah, blah, blah in your ear, blah, blah, blah in your ear. Make your own mind up. That's what being a consumer is about. Do your research, but make your own mind up. Like I said, the total is more than the sum of the parts. And for all of you out there who's hating on the device, I don't get it. I don't understand it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but you don't need to hate on the device. If you don't like it, back up why you don't like it. Don't just say stupid things like, oh, it's an extra speaker or it's just an extra camera. It's not. There's a lot more to it. And if you still can't get with the program, then I've got this for you. If your backside's hurting so much from hating, send me an email to I don't care, and I'll send you a cushion for your backside. Anyway, that's a bit of fun, guys. This is Zilla saying take care. The video went on longer than I'd hoped for, but I just wanted to get my points across. I think it's a great phone. It's a worthy update. And just before I go, I bought 2 of them. Bought them, they're not review units. I didn't get any special discount, nothing. I have purchased 2 S9 Pluses. If I thought they were rubbish, I wouldn't put my money where my mouth was. That's what you gotta remember, guys. The people who actually buy the device, who have the device, who have used the device, maybe they're better to listen to. Anyway, that's enough ranting for the time being. This is Zilla. Take care. Thank you for joining me. And before I go, I've got all the official cases. They're sitting over there. That's where I'm looking. The screen protectors, loads of stuff. You know, Samsung season, I go nuts with the accessories. So hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any videos I upload. And I'll see you all again real soon. Stay safe and peace.